marginal benefit to the firm, right? So how much the firm values the coconuts that Tom Cruise is picking is going to be equal to the wage they pay. In an ideal world, right? We're not going to get Marxists and say, well, the value of Tom Cruise's labor is really that much higher. But we're going to say, if they're paying him like $6, right? But it would be more, but they would totally pay $7 if he would find one more coconut. Then they're going to do that. They're not going to like withhold wages from him just because, you know, it's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, great. And so you get an intersection point, right? The intersection point, yes. Oh, did you more? Oh, I was curious. There was no question. And again, this one's very easy because all you have to do is, and I'm again not going to go into the math of this because it's very long and very boring, and I would like to get to the Edward box before we go to that, which is, trust me, it's going to be Dan knows about the Edward box, right? Okay. So all you have to do is set the firm's marginal benefit for the firm's marginal benefit equal to the wages paid for labor. And you will find this intersection, right? And then once you find this intersection point, you know that he has like $100 to spend, right? And you can go back to you can go back to his here, right, and say he has this much money and maximize his utility function, right? So that's about it for the individual. I guess to sum it up, the individual goes to work. I kind of did it backwards, actually. That's how they did it for me in economics, so that you feel like that. The individual goes to work, right, and the firm decides, okay, we want him to work this much, so we're going to pay him a certain wage. The individual decides if that wage is really worth working for and goes to work. If he, once the equilibrium is reached, the individual gets a certain amount of money. Then he takes that money over to here and says, what is the best bundle I can get based on my utility function at the supermarket? Then he takes that bundle home. And for Tom Cruise, that bundle is made entirely of coconuts because it's the only thing created in the market. I guess coconuts, right? Good luck. Right? Really, what we call this is leisure. It's really like leisure is the time he doesn't work, right? Because it's not, if he had nothing else to do, he'd just work 24 hours a day. But he needs to sleep, he needs to stare at himself in the water, he needs to act crazy somehow. Okay, so we're gonna introduce two people, two real people. This is no longer in Tom Cruise's mind. Are we excited? We're out of Tom Cruise's mind. And we are going to talk about two people and the Edgeworth box. So, good old friend, aren't you tired of this? You tired of this yet? My goal to make you never want to see this thing again.
I want negative numbers.
You want negative numbers?
Quaternions.
Yes, negative numbers. Okay, so this, we're not going to go into the idea of negative goods because, no.
The imaginary.
Chaotic goods.
The chaotic goods.
Chaotic goods.
Guys.
All right, it is time to listen to one.
What if your goods are made of antimatter?
Okay. So, let's say you're in an economy and there's a fixed number of goods and a fixed wage. The labor market is all sorted itself out. We've paid everyone a wage. We have produced a certain number of goods for people to buy those goods with, right? Now what we're doing, here's the fun part, right? We get to give people their money and we get to set prices. We can be the social plan. Have you ever wanted to be a communist dictator? Now is your chance. Yes, no.
That's not a economist idea.
All right. So in our world dominating frenzy, let us say that we kept some of the money for ourselves, right? And so we're going to have two utility functions here, and we can draw the budget constraint if we really want, right? So this is the total number of good X in the market, and this is the total number of good Y. We have a person A and a person B. There are two people on our market, and a social planner, if you want to think of them as a person. Dictators really are people.
A and B, I'm assuming, are taken to be zero, the point A and the point B.
Yes, this is the origin of A, and this is the origin of B.
Okay.
So as we go down on B's origin, B gets more of Y. And as we go up on A's Y axis, A gets more of Y. So what we've done is essentially said, A cannot have a point here and B have a point here, because then we have an extra, we have to have, this is how much, let's say that's 10 goods, then A and B are collectively using 10 more goods than the economy has. Essentially, this is called an Edgeworth box. I believe the guy's name was actually Edgeworth, which is better ironic because it's two boxes that create an edge. So, what the Edgeworth box allows us to do is say we have a set number of goods in the economy. How are we going to allocate these to consumers, right? And right now, there's a problem because since the dictator has taken some money, right? Let's say there are 10 here, right? 10 here. There are 10 maximum goods that anyone can have. So they can have 5, 3, 7, any number you want. But the dictator has said, I'm taking money, and so A has 3 goods, and B has 3 goods of good apples, right? And the dictator's stupid, I guess he's giving out guns again. He's given 3 guns to person B, and 4 guns to person A, right?
Partisan.
And so we have a deficit. Yes, he's partisan.
Partisan A. Partisan B.
And so we have a deficit of 3 guns, right? And 4 apples that no one's buying because the dictator took the money. But the dictator doesn't need to buy goods. The dictator's an immortal hand, invisible hand, so to speak. Point that to myself. Right? And so this is no good. What we have here is we have something that is not at a Pareto optimality. So a Pareto optimum defined kind of where's it coming from?
It's when it hits the blocks at the bottom corners.
You also need to push it up farther.
What?
Push the
Yeah,
bottom
right.
right.
Alright.
It's pretty disappointing
Just
for
give it
a math chalkboard.
I don't want to make it. Oh, it's when
There's just supposed to be like the professionals of chalkboards and blackboards. Math department.
Okay. So,
That's why they keep it like hidden away at the annex.
alright, space, that's enough. Alright, so a Pareto optimum
Physics
is
chalkboards the
when
best.
person A and person B are both as good off as they can be without hurting the other person, right? And so, when they start out here, obviously, person A has like 1 and 1, and person B has like 1 and 2. Person B could be all the way over here, right? At 3 and 5, without actually hurting person A, right? In our economy, as long as he doesn't knock into that guy's utility curve, they can give him just more and more and more stuff without hurting him. So a Pareto optimum is this, right? You know what this point is? No?
It's the
Yes, it's a tendency. So I'm just saying, you know your math. You claim you know something.
It's the minimum constraint.
You have vindicated your math knowledge. Alright. So this may not look very interesting on the surface. Because great, we have this funny little box. We've basically just drawn utility curves and said